Hi, this is Don, and I'm going to cook chicken Florentine tonight. And I'm going to serve it with roasted red potatoes I'm going to put chives and a dollop of sour cream on top. Anyway, what you do first is you take your chicken breast. And you put your chicken breast, make sure you get the really lean stuff. Put some plastic over it when you go to pound it. And just pound it out. And as you can see, I've already pounded this out. Then you just take your plastic and remove it, and bam. You don't spread any salmon juice anywhere. Splatter it, I should say. I'm going to put a glove on. I like to use a glove when I handle chicken. I go ahead and season my chicken with kosher salt and cracked black pepper. I always use cracked black pepper. Now with my flour that I'm going to dredge in, I have a little secret here that I'm going to show you. It's Lawry seasoned salt. It's a Mediterranean herb blend. It's absolutely wonderful. And I've already put some in, but I'll just show you. It's got everything you need in it, especially for Italian dishes. And like I say, I go ahead and get my pan hot. Make sure you get your pan hot. Flip your chicken over, season both sides. Even though you've seasoned your flour, I still like to season the chicken, if you know what I mean. Both sides. And then you take your butter. I like to use a butter blend. Those of you that have been following me some know that. I take some butter and I take some olive oil. I do a blend. Put a little bit more olive oil in there. And this is a little hot for me back. So I dredge my flour, or my chicken in my flour. And when you lay it in there, be careful not to splatter yourself with that hot grease. So what you're trying to do here is sear your chicken so you get a nice browning action. I used to run this chicken Florentine as a special all the time when I was the chef at Savelli's, an Italian restaurant on Sutherland in Knoxville, and oh my God, they loved it. And you can go ahead and get the flour out of the way. Now get rid of my glove about that time. And I've already got some roasted potatoes going in the oven. As you can see, I tossed them in. What I did is I blanched them in some boiling water for about 5 or 10 minutes. And then I drained them off, of course. And then I tossed them in olive oil and a seasoning blend. And I'm going to show you, I bought that seasoning blend also. You don't always have to make your own seasoning blends. I bought this bacon and chive flavor seasoning blend. It's delicious. I've tried it before. I don't use a lot of it because it is high in sodium content. Anyway, you get your chicken going here. And you want to get it good and brown. That's the main thing. I go ahead and I get rid of my cutting board about this time. Why? Because I've already cut everything. All my mise en place is ready. All my prep is done. And that's the good thing about staying ahead of the game when you're cooking. Keep a clean work surface. I'm going to pull everything forward. And as you can see, I've diced a half of an onion. I've got shallots for my spinach. I've got white wine. I've got heavy cream. And I like to put fresh mushrooms in my, I do more of a casserole, I suppose, with my chicken Florentine. I like to put mushrooms in there because I love mushrooms. You don't have to put those in there. I'm going to turn my heat up here. And what I do is I keep a dish back here to put my chicken in. After it's cooked most of the way, I put it in the dish and then I just pop it in the oven while I'm building my sauce. And that makes it really easy. Oh yeah, look how beautiful that is. Look at that chicken. And that's where you get all your flavor. It's the browning action. It's delicious, trust me. You can take your whole pan if you would like and stick it in the oven if you're not doing a demonstration, if you know what I'm saying. Let me make sure my oven's on here for a minute. Turn it on 400. I like to put my chicken in there. I like to make sure it's done all the way. And like I say, just brown it on both sides. And after you pound your chicken out, it doesn't take as long for it to cook. I'm going to cook the spinach. I'm going to go ahead and turn on this side, this pan over here to cook my spinach. And it only takes a minute. I mean, it doesn't take long at all. You just got to wilt your spinach. I'm going to go ahead and pull these red potatoes out. I know they're good and done. They grab a glove here. I've had them in there for a while. Oh yeah, look at those. Beautiful. And all I do is I just quarter some red potatoes, like I say, like so. All right, this is beautiful. We're going to put our chicken in here in our casserole dish. And pop it in the oven. And just forget about it for a couple minutes while you build your sauce. Now when you go to build your sauce, what you want to do is I put a little bit of flour in mine, which you've already got some of the flour off of the chicken that you dredged, but I go ahead and add another pinch of flour. This helps build your sauce, makes a little roux in there. You don't need much. I use all-purpose flour, by the way, to cook with all the time. All right, then you add your white wine. I put about a cup. That deglazes your pan, and you reduce that. I put some onions in. You can saute the onions first before you put that in, but you don't have to. Go ahead and put your garlic in. And what you're doing is you're reducing your white wine. I like to put a little bit of veggie stock. I save all the ends of my onions and my carrots and my celery, and I make a veggie stock. And that's a really concentrated veggie stock. It's delicious. I use fresh garlic all the time. I use fresh shallots. I keep shallots and garlic around all the time. And as you can see, I hate that scraping sound. I'm going to get something to stir here with. Let's see here. Here we go. Looking for my wooden spoon so it doesn't make that noise. And you want to reduce your wine about by half. And the chicken's doing well down there. We'll just let that go. About that time. If you're going to make chicken Florentine, it's going to take a minute. I mean, there's no way around it. To make it correctly and to make it taste wonderful and savory, it's going to take a minute. So give yourself about an hour to prepare and about an hour to finish up the process here. Go ahead and add your cream. I use about a cup. Oh, and I crank it up here. And remember, you have your roux in there. And that's going to help it thicken. And that's, you know, that's one of the main things about cooking is knowing the little tricks. When you have the all-purpose flour with the butter and the oil, you're making a thickening agent called a roux. And I'm sure a lot of you know that already, but I don't take anything for granted when it comes to cooking. I know a lot of people do not cook all the time. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to take some of the potatoes. I'm going to go ahead and put them in here. Oh, they're going to be delicious. They smell just wonderful. That bacon and chive seasoning mix blended is incredible. I always try to be doing something, you know, so it all comes together at the same time. And all I'm going to do is put some chives on there and toss them around. Like so. And as you can see, your chives stick to it. I'll put a little cheese on them too. That's an Asiago cheese, by the way. You can use Parmesan or anything you would like. And you can keep your potatoes hot right there. They'll stay hot on that surface. And as you can see, my cream sauce is getting thick. That's beautiful. And I've got this side already going for my wilted spinach. All I'm going to do for the wilted spinach is I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil, not much, about a tablespoon. Get that hot. I'm going to put some shallots in there. I love shallots. And I do saute the shallots when I'm doing the spinach. Oh yes. This is love right here. A little bit of kosher salt. Over here, my sauce is looking delicious. All right. Now, put my spinach in there. Like so. You can buy baby spinach. You can buy just regular spinach. I always buy the stuff that's already been washed, and then I usually wash it again. I don't use frozen. I don't use frozen anything if I can help it. I put more kosher salt. I put cracked black pepper. Like so. Some pepper over here. I'm going to add a little bit of cheese to my sauce. I'll put some mushrooms over here in my spinach. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. You can put your mushrooms in your sauce if you'd like. It just depends. Like I say, I do more of a casserole type thing. Now your sauce is reduced, and that's a nice thick sauce you've got there. I like to finish it off with a little cheese. Just adds a lot of flavor. You don't have to add that, it's optional. Look at that sauce. Doesn't it look beautiful? You can turn your heat off there. All right. Let me taste the sauce and see what I've got going here. That's delicious. Absolutely delicious. All right, I've got my spinach here. Let me go ahead and turn that up all the way. And we can start plating about right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my platter, because trust me, you're going to need a platter with this. And I'm going to put some potatoes on there, and they're still good and hot. If you're on a diet, I wouldn't suggest this dish at all, but it is absolutely delicious. All right, let's check our chicken. Oh, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. I'm trying to get all the vitamins I can out of my fresh spinach and my mushrooms. There's lots of riboflavin in your mushrooms. And I'll go ahead and cook those just a little bit more. Add a little bit more cream to this. And that's what I mean. You can adjust this sauce accordingly. If you need a little bit more liquid, add you a little bit more of your vegetable stock, add you a little bit more cream, whatever. Just to get it the right consistency you would like. I'm going to turn that back on just for a minute. This heater right back up. I just think I needed more sauce. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my spinach. It looks perfect. And you put it on your platter. Like so. And that's plenty. Take your chicken breast. And you don't have to, do this big a chicken breast if you don't like. that much chicken. You put that on top. Then you take your sauce. And you just pour it right on top, like that. And you garnish with your fresh parsley. And that, my friends, is chicken Florentine with roasted red potatoes. Thank you. Enjoy.